here is O. Henry's holiday story. A young couple with almost no money the night before a winter holiday. Relax and stay with them. Listen for what each one gives up. Let's begin. Della and Jim were young, and they were very much in love. They lived in a small, plain flat in the city, with old furniture and a window that looked out on a gray brick wall. They had almost no money. Jim worked long hours, but his pay was small, and each week it was a hard struggle to make ends meet, to earn just enough to cover the rent and the food with nothing left over. Della knew that worry well. She saved a coin here and a coin there, counting carefully at the little kitchen table. Tomorrow was a winter holiday, a day for giving gifts, and Della wanted, with all her heart, to buy Jim something truly wonderful. But tonight she counted her small savings one more time, and her heart sank. It was far too little. For weeks, Della had been trying to save up for this gift. Penny by penny, she had put a little money aside, hoping it would slowly grow into enough. But life kept taking it back again. There was always the rent to pay, always food to buy, always some small bill waiting. And so, on this very last night, all she had managed to save up was $1.87. That was everything. Della dropped onto the old couch and cried. Then she dried her eyes, for there is something you should know about this poor young couple. They owned two treasures, two things they were truly proud of. One was Jim's gold watch, which had belonged first to his grandfather and then to his father long ago. The other was Della's long, beautiful hair. These two treasures were worth a fortune to them, not a fortune in coins, but something far more precious than money. Della's hair fell all the way past her knees, soft and shining and brown, like a warm brown waterfall. It was so lovely that a queen might have envied it. And Jim's gold watch was so fine that even a wealthy man might have envied it too. Now Della stood before the mirror, her eyes suddenly bright and quick. In one swift moment her long hair came tumbling down, rippling and shining all around her. She looked at it for a long, still minute. Then, before she could lose her courage, she gathered it up again, pulled on her old brown coat and hat, and hurried out of the door, down the stairs, and into the cold winter street. Let's pause and look at the first three phrases from our story. First, make ends meet. To make ends meet means to earn just enough money to pay for the things you need, with little or nothing left over. Jim worked hard, but it was still a struggle to make ends meet. You might say, after I lost my job, it was hard to make ends meet. Second, save up for. To save up for something means to put a little money aside, again and again, until at last you have enough to buy it. And Della had been saving up for a special gift for weeks. And third, a fortune. A fortune is a very large amount of money or something so precious that it feels beyond price. Their two treasures were worth a fortune to them. Three lovely phrases: make ends meet, save up for a fortune. Della hurried through the busy streets until she stopped before a shop with an old sign, Madame Sofronie, hair bought and sold. Inside, a large, cool woman looked her up and down. "Will you buy my hair?" Della asked. "I buy hair," the woman said. "Take off your hat and let me see it." Down came the beautiful brown waterfall once more. The woman lifted it in a practiced hand. $20, she said. It was enough. More than anything in the world, Della wanted to give Jim a perfect gift, and now, at last, she could. "Give it to me quickly," she said. The cold scissors did their work. $20 was pressed into her hand, and her long hair was gone. Her head felt strangely light and cold, but her heart was full. She did not let herself look back. It was not easy to let her hair go. For years it had been her pride and joy, and now, in a single cold minute, she had let it go for love. But Della did not waste one moment feeling sorry. With the $20 warm in her hand, she flew from shop to shop, searching for the right gift. And then she found it. It was a watch chain, simple and elegant, made of pure platinum, with no showy shine, only quiet good quality. The moment she saw it, she knew it was made for Jim's gold watch. It was so like Jim himself, quiet, honest, and truly fine. She paid $21 for it and hurried home with the 87 cents left over. Now Jim would no longer feel shy about checking the time. At home, Della did her best with her short, curly hair. She heated the iron and worked on the tiny curls until her head was covered in bold little ringlets. "If Jim does not kill me first," she thought, "he will say I look like a schoolgirl. But what could I do with $1.87? At 7 o'clock the coffee was ready, and Della sat waiting, the little chain hidden in her hand. Then she heard Jim's step on the stair, and she went pale for a moment. The door opened, and Jim came in and stopped still. His eyes were fixed on Della, and to her surprise, she could not read them at all. He was not angry, nor shocked, nor sad. He simply stared at her with a strange, quiet look she had never seen before, and it frightened her. "Jim," Della cried, "don't look at me like that. I sold my hair to buy your gift. It will grow back. Happy holiday, Jim." Slowly, as if in a dream, Jim took a small package from his coat and laid it on the table. "Open it," he said softly. Inside lay a set of beautiful combs, the very ones Della had loved in a shop window, combs for the hair that was now gone. She smiled through her tears. "My hair grows so fast, Jim." Then she held out the shining chain, but Jim only sat back and smiled. "Della," he said gently, "I sold my watch to buy your combs." And so both gifts were useless. The chain had no watch, the combs had no hair, yet the sacrifice had been worth it. After all, each had given up their greatest treasure for the other. Of all who have ever given gifts, these two were surely the wisest. Now let's learn the last 5 phrases. First, more than anything. If you want something more than anything, you want it above all else in the whole world. Della wanted to give Jim a perfect gift more than anything. Next, let something go. To let something go means to give it up or release it even when it is hard. Della had to let her beautiful hair go. Then, to one's surprise. We use this when something happens that we did not expect. To Della's surprise, Jim was not angry at all. Next, worth it. If something is worth it, the reward is greater than the cost or the trouble. Their sacrifice was worth it. And finally, after all. We use after all to point to the one truth that matters most in the end. After all, they still had each other. There are your 5 phrases, well done. So there is our story, O. Henry's warm and gentle tale, the gift of the Magi. Della and Jim had almost no money, yet each one longed to give the other a perfect gift. Della sold her long hair to buy a fine chain for Jim's watch, while Jim sold that very watch to buy combs for Della's hair. Both gifts were useless in the end, and yet their love had never been richer. Now, let's check your understanding with 3 quick questions. 1. What were the 2 treasures this poor couple owned? 2. What did Della sell and what did she buy? And 3. Why does the story call them the wisest gift givers of all? Pause and answer in your own words, then share your answers in the comments. I love reading them. Thank you so much for listening all the way to the end. Warm little stories like this one are one of the very best ways to grow your English naturally, gently, and without any stress at all. If the gift of the Magi touched your heart, stay right here with me. Our next story carries you off to another corner of the world, where one small kindness changes a whole life. Tap that subscribe button so you never miss a new episode, and let the next story begin to play. Keep listening, keep learning, and I'll see you very soon in the next one. Goodbye for now.